What's up, everybody? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. This is the Blue Root City Buzz. We are joined today by Jack Duffy. Follow him on Twitter at Jack Duffy TPL. What is going on, Jack?
Tough end of that game, but it was exciting. It was a shootout.
What did I tell you last night, man? I was half joking. We did a party on Broad following the Sixers-Hornets game last night, and I told you the first one to get to 40 between Marial Shayok and Kobe Simmons wins. What happened?
Shayok got it, and Blue Coats ended up pulling it out.
The Delaware
right on.
Unbelievable. The Delaware Blue Coats got the W versus the Green. Oh, hold on. That's got to pop up. All right. Let's restart that. The Delaware Blue Coats got the W tonight, 142 to 136 versus the Greensboro Swarm. We have Jack here, but because what he does, he covers the Charlotte Hornets and the Greensboro Swarm for the Painted Lines. How's it going covering the Swarm, man? Talk to us a little bit about some of those young studs.
Yeah, so tonight, both Hornets assignment players, Jalen McDaniels and Caleb Martin, both 30 points each. It's very obvious with those assignment guys that they just fit in the NBA, especially Caleb Martin. Just in transition, his speed and skill is just above everybody else on the floor. He had 7 rebounds and 5 assists also. And just his ability to attack in transition, get by guys. He also had 2 blocks too. One of them was on Camozzi, actually. And I think the second one was on Pell, so both on the Blue Coats big men. And then McDaniels was his thing coming into the NBA. He's an undersized big man. And his biggest thing in his development right now is being able to shoot threes. And he knocked down 5 of his 6 to start the game tonight. And he also had 5 steals as well. So really impressive for those 2 guys. Robert Frank's also their two-way guy, also another solid game. He's had 20 points in the first 2. So down the stretch there, they had an 11-point lead in the second quarter. That third quarter run with Shayok and Highsmith kind of lifted them up, and the Swarm couldn't really get back.
Right on, man. You got some young studs out there. I loved what I saw from Thomas Welsh. Great shooter. Jalen McDaniels, like you said. Caleb Martin was a problem. And Kobe Simmons, man, he's good. But let's, begins and ends with Marial Shayok tonight. He finished with 42 points. He shot 14 of 27 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3. He had 9 boards, 3 assists, 43 points. Man, was that impressive. Talk a bit about Marial Shayok, man.
So, just the thing with Shayok is he's kind of in that Shake Milton role that he played that Shake was in last year, just completely controlling the offense. Obviously, it's their second game, but he got to his spots whenever he wanted. When he wanted to shoot the 3, he could get back with that step back. He had that buzzer beater 3 to end the half that put the Blue Coats up 67-65. And then just finishing through contact at the rim, too. He was finishing through guys that were 5-6 inches taller than he was. So, just impressive so far for two-way guy for Shayok. Guys on Twitter were eating up all that Shayok content tonight, saying that he should be on the roster. I don't know if we're that close yet, but if you're a Sixers fan, what Shayok's done through the first 2 games is very promising. What
you saw there in the second half was Marial Shayok start to facilitate the offense, because when you looked at last game, the ball movement, they don't have a true point guard. They don't have a guard on this roster that can move the ball and get guys open looks. And this is what me and Jason Blevins were talking about during the game, during the season opener last Saturday night was, $10 says Marial Shayok becomes that hybrid combo guard that Shake Milton became, roughly like the end of November last year when Demetrius Jackson went on to China. But what a performance. Just can't give him enough credit. My second star of the game has to be Haywood Highsmith, man. November Haywood is back. If we go back to last season, Haywood Highsmith was just ran out the gates. He got a 2-way contract with the Sixers. Then he kind of just hit the rookie wall. His shooting just became incredibly inconsistent. But Haywood Highsmith, 33 minutes tonight, shot 7 of 10 from the floor, 18 points. Dude, this guy does it all. 10 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. He was all over the court, man, and one of the biggest reasons for this W. Any comments on Haywood, dude?
Yeah, Haywood he had timely steals there in the last 2 minutes. He had that one steal to Jalen McDaniels off that inbound that kind of lifted them up to seal that game. And then that third quarter, he he's a very mature basketball player. He makes the right pass, makes the right play. He cuts at the right time. One thing I saw is on a few of his cuts to the basket, he knows exactly the timing of setting that screen and cutting the basket at the exact right time. And when Shayok had that one cut to him in the third quarter, Highsmith, he does all the little things. All of his intangibles are very well. So, I mean, the little things, and he was a big part, him and Shayok in that third quarter, make that the Blue Coats with that 10-point lead and kind of just run away with the game.
Absolutely. Norvell Pell, definitely very rusty in that first half. Tons of turnovers. Really couldn't get out of foul trouble, but he had one of the best moments of the game in that back-to-back blocks in the fourth quarter. He did eventually foul out, but he finished with 6 points, 4 blocks. It felt like, just countless, shots challenged at the point of attack in the paint there by Norvell Pell. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Xavier Munford because I dogged this guy. He had a fake 27 points in the season opener. He facilitated the offense in the first game. He does not look any bit like a point guard, but what I thought we saw tonight, he was attacking. He was getting to the free throw line. He got 7 attempts at the free throw line. He shot a 6 of 10 from 3-point range, 36 points. This was a totally different player than I saw in the season opener from Xavier Munford. Just a really strong game. That has to give Blue Coats fans some reason for optimism. And then lastly, we had Chris Camozzi, first double-double, first professional double-double, 10 points, 12 boards, 4 blocks, man. He was kind of a big reason why the Blue Coats were able to turn it around. Any comments about Camozzi, man?
I thought it was you forget how, watching him at Florida State, he's a very vocal player. And he picked up that 5th personal foul and got that technical that ended up getting him fouled out. It's good to see he has that Philly attitude, that Philly grit to him. Yeah. But, from the Swarm standpoint, Jalen McDaniels had that one dunk on Camozzi in the third quarter. That was pretty nice. But, Camozzi is just his presence inside. He doesn't move his feet as well, the best, but he can get the spots just in such little time because of his length and speed, or his length and height. And he's impressed. Just his block, that one pin he had in the first game, and then tonight, just inside, just his ability to roll to the basket, get those boards. He's really big point in the first half with the Blue Coats getting those boards, because in the first quarter, the Swarm just completely dominated the boards, and then Camozzi comes in and kind of secures the middle inside.
For sure. And you also had that other highlight that you posted. It was putting Zhaire Smith on skates. I don't know who that guy was from the Swarm. Was it Caleb Martin? It was like a step back.
Caleb Martin.
Yeah, that was nasty, man. That was nasty.
Speaking of Zhaire Smith, talk about him tonight.
Woo! Man, talk about not involved in offense. Zhaire finished with 8 points. Somehow he was a plus 10 on the court because his defense wasn't that great either. But he had 5 boards, 2 assists, 3 turnovers. We talked about this on the last Blue Root pod between me and Jason, where when you don't have a true facilitator, a guy that can get guys open looks on the perimeter, Zaire's not a guy that's going to create for himself. You're not going to get the ball to Zhaire, and he doesn't have the handle to do it. And we had major concerns. Zhaire was on this list, and Jared Brownridge was on this list, and Brownridge finished with 4 points. The best shooter in the G League last year had 4 points, 0 for 2 from 3-point range. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the ball movement on this Blue Coats roster. They don't have a real point guard, and that's going to kill them. Their motto is defend, run, and share. I don't know about that share part, man, because you look at they did have 20. All right, I feel like that number went up significantly in the second half. They finished with 20 assists. Yeah, like you said, Jack, the rebounding was key in that second half for the Blue Coats turnaround. But any last comments about this game before we wrap it up, man?
Just kind of adding on Zhaire Smith, I said in the chat tonight that if you're a random person off the street that had no idea anything about the Sixers or the Blue Coats, and you watched this game, you would have had no idea, 1, that he was on the Sixers roster, and 2, that he's a first-round pick. He just was not involved. He's invisible out there on the court. And kind of what you're talking about, the share part, just with this Blue Coats team lack of ball movement. The Swarm are the complete opposite. They threw a couple lineouts out there tonight with those 3 point guards, and that's just the Swarm is the thing about the whole first half of the game. Honestly, for both teams, a lot of fouls were called on both sides.
Oh my God!
And both the Blue Coats and the Swarm, they both like to play fast, and so the turnovers and the fouls kind of threw both teams out of rhythm in that first half, and they couldn't get out and run like they wanted to. So that kind of threw everything off in the first half. But yeah, that second half, especially that third quarter run, the Blue Coats got out there, they ran the score up on the Swarm. So good game all around. Both Swarm assignment players did well. Robert Franks played well. Kobe had a rough first half. I think he only had 6 points, 4 assists, but he had a decent second half. Fourth quarter, he was big in bringing the Swarm back within 2 points. But overall, I think for both teams, there's a lot of positives you can pull out of that game.
Extremely entertaining. Extremely entertaining game. No doubt about it. Defense be damned. There's no such thing as defense in the G League. But yeah, going back to Zhaire Smith, man, the more I see him play, and the more you see guys like Trey Burke, Furkan Korkmaz, Raul Neto, even Matisse Thybulle, he might be struggling right now. I don't see Elton Brand waiting for another guy to develop that. I think he could be trade bait. Do you think Zhaire might be on the trade block in the very near future here?
I mean, if you think about it right now, Ben Simmons is out and Shake Milton's out, and Zhaire is still in the G League. So there's absolutely no chance he ever breaks the rotation this year. So I think his future in Philly is not bright. He is not going to be a 76er by the end of the season, I believe. So, and as of right now, what teams haven't really seen much in Zhaire Smith. So I don't think his value in the trade market's going to be very intriguing for any team. So I think it's maybe a second round pick, hopefully, or maybe I'm not really sure what they do. Maybe they can trade him for a low end backup point guard to a rebuilding team. Because I say right there, that's probably their biggest weakness at the moment, or more shooting. But yeah, Zhaire Smith, he doesn't fit in with his team. He's not an Elton guy. So
Yep, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Anything you got going on with the Charlotte Hornets right now, man? Before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I got a big day Wednesday. So the Swarm have their school day game at 11 o'clock. So they have that game, and then I'm driving straight to the Spectrum Center where the Hornets will play the Grizzlies on Wednesday night. So I'll have 2 games Wednesday. They'll be busy. So it'll be a busy week. The Hornets are coming back. They have 2 losses in a row, so they'll try to build back on that. And then, the Swarm are playing well. They're doing exactly what they want to do. They're running. They're shooting the 3 ball, and they're playing fast. So
they're an exciting, and the Charlotte Hornets, man, exciting teams to watch for sure. A lot of young talent. Make sure you follow Jack on Twitter at Jack. Make sure you follow
Jack too many Jacks
on Twitter. Way too many Jacks. At Jack Duffy TPL, and follow at Sports TPL for all of his awesome Swarm and Charlotte Hornets content. Thank you so much, man, for everything you do for the Painted Lions down there, man. You're crushing it.
Hey, it's so much fun. My pleasure.
Awesome. Make sure you follow the Blue Root on Twitter at Blue Root TPL. For myself, I'm Dives. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.